Hello. I titled this video, Why Should We Pay to Die? Has anybody besides me ever questioned that? I recently, back in 2016 I guess, dealt with a family member dying, and what an ordeal. I mean, you just about have to take out a bank loan. Just breaking it down to the bare bones, just to put somebody under the soil. I mean, well, you go to the funeral home, and I guess not many people question it. You know, they almost act like that's one of them. You know, in the brochures they title it "Celebration of Life." A celebration for the funeral homes, because they're getting rich off of you dying, literally, and people are not even seeing it that way. The funeral homes make it look like they're doing you a favor by charging you gobs of money, and and there's this displaced thinking of it to where it's almost a guilt. They make you feel guilty if you're not paying for all the extras just to bury somebody. They want to. Anyway, I got to thinking, and I broke it all down. And I have a science degree, and I saw it, you know, mathematical mind, I guess. I sort of broke it down just to give y'all an idea of how stupid all this is. For instance, okay. So basically, to just, you know, an average price for, they call it a plot at a cemetery. Okay. Now I got several figures here, but they all, you know, have an average. Just basically, you know, and this is no frills. This is just a basic funeral plot. $2,600, which is what I wrote. Average cost of gravesite, $2,600. Okay, we'll take that figure for this. Okay, $2,600 for, now basically the size of that gravesite is going to be pretty much the size of the casket, which is usually 10 foot by 5 foot. A 10 by 5 foot casket, and that's another area of cost. If you get a casket, one of their caskets, I mean, we just got a basic, you know, I'm Native American, Jewish, so we did a kosher Native American natural. We did a natural burial, where they don't, you know, no embalming, no, it was a natural field where, you know, they don't use the big gravestone markers, or, like I said, no embalming is allowed at the natural green, they call them green space burials, and it was actually a lot cheaper. Well, that's not why I did it, because I, you know, my science degree, I actually care about the environment. And I'll get into that later about the embalming fluids, and the metal caskets and things they use. But we just used, we ended up using a wooden casket and a shroud, which is a couple $100. But a lot of these caskets are, you know, I mean, you're talking, let's see, for instance, my mom's casket, I had my dad's old notes, was about $2,000. She had a waterproof one. But getting back to this, so gravesite costs. Okay, now, 1 acre of land is, I'll look this up, 43,560 square feet. And 1 square foot is length times width. Okay, and the average price per an acre of land is going for $5,000. Okay, So you have a 10 foot by 5 foot casket. Okay, length times width, that equals 15 square feet. And the percentage of a casket space occupying 1 acre, which remember was 43,560 square feet. We do this division here. 15 divided by 43,560 equals 0.034. So we go 0.034%, because that's what that is. The square foot of a casket is 0.034% of 1 acre of land. Okay, so now since the price per acre is $5,000, we say 0.034% of $5,000. Oh, I should have a dollar sign here. I should have a dollar sign next to that. 0.034% of $5,000, you just multiply, and it comes out to $1.70. So basically, the price, if you were going to buy a plot of land that was 15 square feet, it would only cost you $1.70. $1.70. But these funeral homes want to charge you $2,600. And so, like I said, the average cost of a gravesite is $2,600. So you say 1.7x. You do this, set this equation up, times 2,600 divided by 1.7 equals 1,529 times higher is what they're charging you extra. Now let's look at transport cost. They had over here and all their fancy smancy, you know, here we go. All their fancy smancy, whoops, let me find the transport cost here. Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry. Transport cost. Okay, right here. We can see this. Transfer. Oh, okay. Transfer of deceased from funeral home to place of autopsy and urn. Transfer remains from place of death to funeral home. That doesn't even include transfer from the funeral home to the burial site that you choose. Say, like for me, I went to a green space. I didn't use the funeral home burial sites. So I didn't use a funeral home cemetery. So I got here, within a 50-mile radius, additional distance will be charged $3 per mile in a limousine is $295. Within a 50-mile radius, additional distance, okay, service vehicle, I'm not sure what that is. We were charged $295. Within a 50-mile radius. They're going to charge you a flat fee of $295. This charge includes basic services of the funeral director and staff, transportation of remains to cemetery or cemetery, transportation to or from local airport, blah blah, service vehicle, and obtaining necessary authorizations. This charge does not include visitation or ceremonies. Oh, that's receiving remains from another funeral home, $2,000. Forwarding remains to another funeral home, $2,000. Say you die and you go to one funeral home, you go, oh. Okay, let's just take this figure of $295, which is what I did up here. Okay, the average price per gallon of gas is, just to say, $3 a gallon. Okay, and it's not even that right now. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go up here first. Transport cost. It's 10 miles per gallon. And you set this equation equals 50 miles per X gallons to find out how many gallons it takes to go 50 miles. We set this equation up. X equals 5 gallons. It takes 5 gallons to go 50 miles. Okay. The average price per gallon of gas is $3 a gallon. So you say $3 a gallon times 5 gallons is $15 to go 50 miles. $15 if we loaded up, I'm sorry, forgive me, a corpse. If we were able to transport the bodies, it would cost us $15 to go 50 miles. But they're going to charge you $295 within. They may not even go 50 miles. That's just within a 50-mile radius. They might go 2 miles. I didn't set that equation up. They might just go 2 miles and still charge you $295 frickin' dollars. Just imagine, it's $15 for us to go 50 miles. What is it, $2 to go, a couple of blocks? So $295 versus $15 for you or I to drive is like basically 19 times higher, 20 times higher they're charging you. Does anybody question that? Does anybody sit there and question these things? I mean, for God's sakes, they're making money off of one of your loved ones dying. Could they not be a little more conservative? I mean, and what a joke. And and it's not even, and then they got other things, I mean, really, what do they do? What are they really doing? If you're not doing embalming, now, embalming fluids, which uses formaldehyde, which preserves dead bodies. It's carcinogenic, to say the least. But when you put somebody in a casket with embalming fluids, do you not realize that stuff is going to seep out? Definitely would. But, God bless my mom. Okay, she was scared of water. She never learned to swim, so she insisted on having a waterproof casket, which they also have available. I believe this casket price was, I mean, it's not in that I'm into talking about funeral homes, but I mean, these things really need to be, because what if you don't have this kind of money to pay? Anyway, it was about $2,000 for her casket. Charged extra. Let's see. I believe it's right. Yeah, we got the liner concrete. That's another ripoff. Continental vault. You got $1,995. Plastic reinforced liner, textured paint, blah blah blah. I asked the lady, there was one lady, she was very honest with me when I guess they were salespeople. When you go in, they set up an appointment. There's a big round table like you're going to a business meeting and discuss your loved one's funeral. And they really give out folders and they lay it out like they're making a huge, like they're selling a damn car, But this one lady, she was somewhat honest. When I asked her, I said, "Hey, do those waterproof caskets, do they leak?" And she laughed. She goes, "Oh, I could tell you the most horrid stories." Yes, they do. They do. They leak out. Therefore, the non-waterproof, goes without saying, leaks out. And that's an issue. You've got all this embalming fluid, formaldehyde. I don't know what else they use. I'm not a creepy mortician there. But that leaks out into the environment, kills wildlife, could affect your, well water, on and on. That's just one issue with this sick. Not to mention, it's not kosher. Why are you trying to dress and put makeup on somebody that has passed on to their side? And here's another point I want to make. People don't seem to get. I talk to so many people, and they go and visit the grave sites and put flowers. Bless them for that. But their thoughts. But when your body dies, you have a spirit, a soul. Okay, you're eternal. You don't die. Animals don't die. They have a spirit. And it goes back to the Creator. Now, animals aren't judged, but we will be. But, it's even written. At the very second of death, your spirit leaves the body. You're gone. You're out of there. And then the body is just a vessel to live on this earth, given by the Creator, Yahweh, is, honestly broken down by worms. Okay? Nothing there. You're not there now. That's just a vessel. It's a concept people don't seem to grasp. It's just why they spend gobs and gobs of money with funerals and caskets. I mean, when, really ethically, you should put the body under the ground, touching the soil, so that it can go back and replenish the earth. All the elements that make up the body. I don't care if you were in a NASA hermetically sealed coffin. Your butt is gonna be broken down by worms. Get it? You're going back to the earth. Ain't no preservation of a body. No dead carcass. It turns into a carcass of bones. I don't care what kind of, these funeral homes are sick, twisted, trying to put makeup on dead bodies. I'm not into this ghoulish crap, I didn't have an open viewing. I wouldn't want somebody looking at me dead. I mean, come on, think about it. It's not Native American way, and it's not Yahweh's way. When your animal dies, you get a coffin and pay $1,000. No. My pets are buried here, right in the woods, in my backyard. They'll be forever missed. Not the body, the spirit. But, we had, and that's just the point I wanted to make. So I really would push green space burials on you people. And the one I wanted, which I didn't get to go to, because the one I have now, they allow, the flat stone markers. But the one I wanted to go to, they don't even allow that. They would only allow, like a natural rock of some sort as a marker for the dead one, and they let all the the trees and things grow, and you wouldn't even know it was a funeral home. It was so natural there. This is your United States here. Everything's about money. Bottom line, money. Even when you freaking die. I mean, where did that go? And they've got these other stuff they want to push. I mean, boy, you really want to get elaborate with it. They've got, was this a folder? Oh, it's this folder. Other, bookmarks, dignity, acknowledgement cards, flag case, memorial package, urn container, temporary urn container. They're basically charging if you want to rent an urn or rent a casket just for a freaking viewing. I think it's sick. Sick, you know. And, you know, if you know, just what if, you know, I'm thinking, you know, see, what if a person doesn't have the money, the relative doesn't have the money to pay for this elaborate burial? What happens? You know, what happens? I don't know where that went. What happens? You know? Oh, here it is. You know, here we go. Flower regulation. They've had regulations after you spent, you know, a lot of times people spend at $10,000 people spend. And they got all their regulations here. Rocks, glassware, and lawnmowers. They're only worried about getting their lawnmowers over there. Digging holes. Planning's not permitted. They don't even guarantee loss of thefts with that price. No insurance on this. Look at all these. Look at this. We've got this many pages of rules and regulations after you pay $5,000, $10,000 just for somebody to die. Okay. Caskets, alternative containers, interment rights, supervision of cemetery, general regulations 10, page 10, general regulations, what we got here, you know, no dogs, look at this, no dogs or other animals except guide dogs. Now the natural burial, the green space burial, you could bring your dog, your freaking dog to the burial. By the way, I use the term burial, not you know, not funeral. That's just, you know, and I could get into more. There was a lot of crap that I had to deal with, and I'm not even gonna get into all that. But I'm just questioning, you know, what happens, because they charge you by the day with their ice boxes where they keep the bodies. They charge by the day to hold the body there. What if the person just didn't have the money? These people aren't going to bury your loved one for free. And you're not allowed to, you know, you're really not allowed to just go bury somebody in the backyard like they did in the good old days. So, I'm just wondering, you know, lingering on that question, what does a person do? Well, that's basically all I wanted to say in that video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.